Gameside.com. Heidi ho, neighbors. Time for a video on how to compress a NetBeans project and submit it through Canvas. We'll also look at backing up our programs using a compressed file and our email program. So here's our screen. We're on project 1. What we have to do is complete project 1, obviously. If I click over to here, you can see project 1 is composed of basically 6 small programs. Exercise 3.1, my initials, convert temp, calculate cylinder, feet meters, and calculate tip. Make sure you do the part about user input. I want you to ask the user how much is the total, how much is the tip rate, and then calculate the answer. Anyway, you've done your programs and you're ready to submit the program. You have to go to NetBeans, zip the file into one file, and upload it through Canvas. Let's move on over to NetBeans. Here it is. I have a program up and running. Notice that it's called Project 1. It has a package Project 1. It has multiple .javas in there. You'll have at least 6 .java files in this program. The first thing I want to point out here is the project folder. It's named Project 1. NetBeans will create a folder out on your hard drive and put all your files into that one folder. This is the thing that we have to compress or zip to send to the user. While we're at it, just to make sure you understand how to do it, you will be adding .java files to Project 1. If I right-click on this and say New, I want to create a new Java file. One of the programs we have to write is called convertTemp, and there I built a new convertTemp.java program. Remember to add these programs into your project folder. It's called Project 1. I want all the files in this one Project 1 package or folder. There are other ways to add a file. If you go to the File menu and say New File, make sure that you scroll down here and say Java Main Class. If you say Java Main Class, it'll write an empty main method for you. If you say plain old Java class, which sometimes you might do, it won't write a main method for you. No problem if you do it that way. If you need a main, you can copy and paste one over. But those are basically your two options, to create a new Java class or a new Java main class. The difference being is it will write the main method for you. Right-click on the package to add a new file, or go to the File menu and say New File. When you're all done, you'll have at least 6 .java programs in there. As a reminder, how do you run these programs? If you use the green arrow button there, it will run the first program that you created. I created a Project 1 here and just put a little Hello World program into it. The green arrow will run that file by default. Since we are working with multiple .java files, there's a couple of different ways you can run each individual file. The simplest way is to right-click on the file over here in the project window and say run that file. And it just ran my Hello World program in Project 1. The other way to do it is to activate the program in the editor window. You can see exercise 3.1 is activated right now. And if at that moment in time you hit Shift F6, Shift F6 will run the current program in the editor window. Those are the two ways. All right, so let's say I've run my programs. I'm happy with all of them. Going back to my window here. Remember, there are 6 programs. I built all 6 programs. I've tested all 6 programs. Am I ready to turn it in? A couple of things I want you to do. Number 1, I want you to put your name and comments at the top of each file. If you come back here, you notice at the top of my program, I put some comments. I want comments at the top of every .java file. First up is who wrote the program. I have my name there. Why did I write this program? This is Comp Sci 111 Lab Project 1. When did I write it? February. This program prints Java in ASCII letters. That is what I wrote. It's important to put comments at the top of every .java program. If I switch over to another program, you can see I have comments at the top of that program. If I copy these comments, I can copy and paste the comments over to this program, and all I really have to change is the what. This is going to be a program to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit, so I definitely need to change the what comment there, but the rest of it is just the same. So I want comments at the top of every .java file, not just one, but every .java file. Who, what, when, and why did you write the program? Final note, before we turn it in, test it. Make sure you test every program. Go on to Google to verify your results. Make sure every program runs properly before you turn it in. All right, so we're ready to turn the project in. What do we do? In NetBeans, under the File menu, there is an Export Project option. Here's Export Project to a zip file. Here's my project, project 1. That is the one that I want to export. Now, the default directory is terrible, right? It's in some app data, local temp, blah, blah, blah. That is hard to find. I'm just going to browse to the desktop, and if I slap it on my desktop, that's where I can find it. Make sure you name it. You have to give it a good name, project1.zip. The .zip is required. I'm going to put it out on the desktop so I can find it. If you want to leave it in the default directory and you can find it, be my guest, but I'm going to put it on the desktop so I can find it easily. There it is. I'm going to install on my desktop a project1.zip file and export it. What you have to understand on this zip file, and there it is all the files in my project folder will be compressed into this one .zip folder. I'm a happy camper. Everything is with it. That is what I'm going to turn in. I'm out on my desktop, and there it is. It's easy to find. It's right next to my NetBeans IDE. This is the file I need to upload to turn in this project. Before I go back to NetBeans, let's take a look at my directories on my hard drive. I'm going to go to my Documents folder, and default for NetBeans is to put it in Documents NetBeans Project. There's a program I wrote on the first day of class called First Program. Here's my Project 1. What is in Project 1? This Project 1 folder contains every file that I added to my project. If I go into the source folder, or SRC, there's my Project 1 folder. You can see all my .java files. What you have to understand is everything in this folder is going to be zipped into that zip file. Let me scroll it down so you can see it. Everything in my Project 1 folder is in this compressed Project 1 zip file. And that's what I'm going to upload to Canvas. Returning to Canvas, I'll go to the assignment page. In the assignment page, you can see there's my Project 1 right there at the top. You can see it's due in a day or two here. I'm going to click on that Project 1 assignment. There is a big button, Resubmit Assignment. I already tested this once in class to show the students. There's nothing to stop me from uploading a brand new version of it, so I'll just say Submit Assignment. I have a Browse button. One of the reasons I put it on the desktop is it'll be a lot easier to find on the desktop. There is my Project 1 zip file. That's the one we just looked at on the desktop. I'll hit Open that one, and I will submit that assignment. That's not hard. All you have to remember is to go to NetBeans and export the project to a zip file, then submit it as a zip file. Here's my new submit. Today is the 20th at 10:26. There's the brand new one. That one will override the previous one I did in the class. That's the one that's going to get graded. Any questions? I can't see where that's too hard. What else do we need to do? Well, that's it for submitting the project. We're done. But the other thing I want to point out, this zip file makes a great backup. If you ever want to get access to your project, this is a great way to do it. Let me go back to NetBeans. At the end of every project, it is a good idea to save a copy of your program. In fact, I'll go a step further. At the end of every major change to a project, it's a good idea to make a backup of your code. Things happen. You lose your memory stick. Your laptop breaks. You lose your code when that happens. How do you save the data for later use, even if you lose your memory stick or your laptop fails? How do you save the data? Once again, it's as simple as a file menu, export project to zip. Now we've already done it. We have the zip file. I'm not going to do it again, but it makes a great backup. What do I mean by that? Let me go over to my email program, and I'm in my email program, and I have this folder here called CS111. What I'm going to do is write myself an email. I'm going to send it to myself, nobody else, and it's going to be my project 1. And what am I going to send for project 1? I'm going to attach my zip file. Let's browse to the desktop. There's my project 1 file. And what I'm going to do is attach it to my email and send it off to myself. Now, I don't want to show you my inbox. I really don't want to show you my inbox. So I'm going to do a little slicing on this video and move it from my inbox to my CS111 folder. So here I click to inbox, expect to see a cut right now. All right, I'm back. All I did is go to my inbox and move my zip file from my inbox to my CS111 folder. And that's a good way to organize the data here, especially if you're in multiple classes, especially if you plan to keep this after the end of the semester. At the end of this class, after we've done our 6 projects, it would be nice to have your 6 projects here in a zip file in your 111 folder. Again, also do this while you're working on the project. Let's say you're in class and you do a whole bunch of work to your project. It's good to make a zip file and email it to yourself just in case something happens to the file and you lose it. You have backups here in your folder. At the end of the project, you only need to keep 1 copy of the zip file, but while you're working on it, you might have multiple copies or backups saved. And there it is. I have my project 1 zip, or that is my backup in case something goes wrong. Well, you say, well, nothing will ever go wrong. Of course things go wrong. Let me go back to NetBeans and I will close down this project. I'll close all projects. I'll close my file. Right. I want to close the project because I plan to do something bad to my project. What am I going to do bad to my project? I'm going to kill it. I'm going to delete it. Things happen. You lose your memory stick. Your laptop breaks. Things happen. Things disappear from your computer. I just wiped out my project 1 there. It's gone. Is it gone forever? Not if I have an email backup, it isn't. Not if I have an email backup, it isn't. Just to make sure it's gone, it's gone. No project 1 in my folder, no project 1 on my desktop. You think it's gone, I think it's gone. It's gone forever, right? Wrong. I made a backup in my email. Let me go back to my email program. Let me right click on that and save it. All I'm going to do is download this to my NetBeans project folder, or I could put it in my desktop if I want, but I'll put it in my NetBeans project folder and I'll save it right there. Now I have a zip file in my NetBeans project folder. There it is. It's back. My backup to my email is back on my hard drive. What do I have to do? I need to come back to NetBeans, say File, and this time I will import project from zip. And what project will I import? Guess what? NetBeans project, project 1 zip file. I restore it. Let's make sure I'm sending it to the right spot. I want to send it to the NetBeans project. Okay, import that thing. What? What do we have here? Remember that project that we thought we lost? It's right there. All my files, everything's there. Wada bing, bada boom. Everything I need to do is right there. Email is a great way to backup. The space is cheap, it's free. I prefer Google or Yahoo Mail rather than the school email, but that's what you got to do. Save a zip file to your email folder and you'll have it at all times. If you're transporting your project from home to work to school, keep a copy of the latest version in your email folder and you always have it anywhere you're at. So, a quick summary before we leave this video. Number one, when you're working on your project, make sure that you do all the project. Read the whole thing through. Make sure you've done everything. Number two, over in NetBeans, make sure you put comments at the top of every file. Who wrote it, why you wrote it, when you wrote it, what you wrote. When you're ready to turn it in, go to Export Project to Zip. After you've got a zip file, go back to your Project 1 on NetBeans and submit the assignment. Upload the zip file and you're happy camper. For an extra measure of protection, go to your email program, send yourself a copy of that zip file, and not only will it be submitted, you'll have your backup. Thank you, and we'll see you in class.